Peppa Pig was playing in her room like all little kids do, and I suppose piglets too. She had a brand new toy and just wanted to be left alone. But who showed up? Her little brother George. "Pepper," he said. "What, George? I'm busy playing with my new toy. But I've got to go pee. Can you please come pee with me?" "Oh, come on, little brother. You're old enough to go pee by yourself." "No, I'm scared. There's ghosts and goblins in there, and it's Halloween soon." "Oh, don't be silly. Go by yourself." George was really sad and insistent, but Pepper wouldn't budge. She had her new toy. So George went to the bathroom by himself. And with that, Pepper went back to playing with her brand new toy. George entered the bathroom. It was big and cold, and he felt quite lonely. And he looked over at the toilet and it was far away. And he thought, there could be ghosts or goblins in here. I've never really been in here alone, actually. He looked around to the left. Then he looked back at the toilet again. And he thought, maybe I can go. But no. Was that a sound? Oh, I don't think I can go to the toilet by myself. I gotta get out of here. There's just no way. I'm gonna hold it in. I don't have to go pee, he thought. So he slowly walked out of the room, carefully. Oh, poor George. George found himself walking back to the living room. I mean, he still had to go pee really badly, but at least the living room was warm and inviting, and there was his little pet dinosaur after all. He thought to himself, who can I get to come here? Well, he had his little phone, and he did know PJ Masks' phone number, so he thought, well, I'll just call them right now. They're always willing to help people. George hung up the phone, and suddenly there was a ring at the door. Wow, superheroes really are fast. In came Owlette, and then Catboy, and then there was Gekko right behind them. This is amazing, he thought. And the superhero said to him, George, what's wrong? How can we help you? And George brightened up and said, I do have some help I need. It's an emergency. In fact, I have to go pee, and there's ghosts and goblins in my toilet. Gekko Boy rushed there immediately to go check. And Owlette and Catboy said, come with us, George. We'll make sure no ghosts and goblins can get you while you're going pee. And with that, they all left to the bathroom, leaving George's little dinosaur on the couch. The little dinosaur thought, well, I want to help too, so he scurried off to the toilet. Now surely you can agree that this wasn't the usual rescue mission that PJ Masks were used to. Nonetheless, it was still just as important to make sure little George could go pee safely without worrying about ghosts and goblins, especially being this close to Halloween. Now the PJ Masks team said, George, don't worry. We'll keep a good lookout for all those ghosts and goblins, even though we're pretty sure there aren't any in your house. George was so excited, but he still had to go pee really bad. He was just going to wait for Catboy to get in, and then finally he could probably go pee, he thought. Now, all of his friends were there. George said, I guess I can go pee now. George said suddenly, I can't go pee quite yet. Can you guys clear the room and make sure there's no ghosts and goblins in here? And of course PJ Masks said, of course we will. And they all looked around and checked everywhere to make sure there were no ghosts or goblins. And sure enough, they couldn't find any. And George was satisfied that he could now, really, finally go pee. Gekko started to whisper something to the other PJ Masks members, and George couldn't quite hear them. And then he suddenly left. George was a bit startled and thought, why would he leave? I mean, I'm just about ready to go pee now. Owlette, where did Gekko go? Owlette said, don't worry, George. There's no ghosts and goblins here. And we think you can go pee by yourself now that you know the room is safe. So we're gonna go stand outside, okay? Oh, no, George said. Please stay in here while I go pee, please. But PJ Masks knew that George had to learn to go pee by himself. Suddenly alone, George thought, maybe it is time for me to go pee by myself. But now I'm scared again, and I think there might be ghosts and goblins in here. I can't go pee. And he froze up. But suddenly, from the corner of the room, his little dinosaur friend walked in and said, George, I'll protect you. I love you. I'll protect you while you pee. And George thought, yeah, you are my best friend. You can protect me. So George readied himself to finally go pee while his little dinosaur protected him. George's little dinosaur bravely stood his ground, looking for monsters, but he was just a little dinosaur and still quite afraid. Lucky for him, PJ Masks were waiting outside, and Gekko thought, I'll help this little dinosaur just a little bit, and then George will be fine. So he spoke to the dinosaur and said, would it help if you were really big, and then you wouldn't be afraid to protect George? The little dinosaur said, sure. And poof, he became huge. Roar! Now I can scare away the ghosts and the goblins. And Gekko knew his job here was done, and he could safely leave, knowing that George could go pee. George's dinosaur, feeling braver than ever, scanned the room for ghosts and goblins, and roared mightily. He knew no ghosts and goblins would come near them now that he was such a big dinosaur, and George was happily peeing, knowing he was safe behind his big dinosaur. George called to his dinosaur, hey dinosaur, I'm done my pee. I'm ready to go now. And so George walked over, flushed the toilet, and he was done. George was so happy that his dinosaur had finally grown up, and he thought, I think I've grown up too. I'm a big boy now, and I'm gonna wash my hands by myself too, and I'm not scared at all. George's dinosaur was so proud of his new job as George's protector. He made sure to watch over him while George finished washing his hands, and then said, George, let me guide you out of the room. Come on, follow me. George was over the moon, and all he could think about was telling Peppa, his mama and papa after.